So we all know the numbers. The amount of homelessness in the northeast corner of San Francisco, the third supervisorial district, has gone up over 100% between 2015 and 2017, according to our own statistics. And I have long been pursuing local solutions on the ground. Actually, we proposed a navigation center last year. Unfortunately, that site is now slated for an affordable housing development, and we've continued to search, and we've actually finally landed on a site that is under port jurisdiction, and we're beginning the community outreach. I was pleasantly surprised several months ago when we actually held community meetings about the amount of support that people in North Beach and Chinatown, Russian Hill, Telegraph Hill are showing for a navigation center. The situation is particularly acute in and around the Ferry Building, but is impacting all of San Francisco and disproportionately the touristed northeast corner of the city. So I've gotten together with the mayor and the director of the port and have found a site. We are currently developing plans for that site. It is going to specifically be for District 3 homeless, so that we're not bringing more homeless in. And I look forward to doing the community outreach and hearing from my constituents.
And now, where will the site be?
So the site is kind of between Fisherman's Wharf and the Ferry Building on a former parking lot. So we're not displacing anybody. It's up by Bay and Kearny Street, very close to the city's wastewater treatment plant at the North Point treatment plant. So there's not a lot of residential there, actually not a lot of commercial. Today I began the outreach to folks in the Fisherman's Wharf business community to solicit their input and hopefully their support.
Now, just so it's clear, what would a navigation center accomplish?
So this is to bring folks with shopping carts and folks who are sleeping in Embarcadero Plaza off the street into shelter, where we can give them case management and hopefully hook them up with longer term housing solutions.
You mentioned the homeless population has doubled, right? It's 100% is doubled, right?
Yeah.
What caused that? What's going on?
In many ways, we are victims of our own success, and as we have made strides relative to large homeless encampments in central parts of the city, down by the freeway, it's my theory, and it's shared by others, that that homeless population is being dispersed into some of the residential neighborhoods, including but not limited to North Beach and Fisherman's Wharf.
Lately, there's been a spate of violent incidents. There was a homicide, there was a lady who stabbed 2 people last week, a lady got chased into Telhigh. Yesterday, a lady got spat on as she's walking with her child. Yeah,
there is no room for violent behavior. Our police are acutely aware of it. I've been fielding those complaints, but we are definitely going through a spate of incidents that I'm hearing about from my neighbors, I'm encountering personally. Yesterday at the corner of Montgomery and Union Street, earlier this week at the Wells Fargo Bank on Columbus Avenue. And when you see these things, if there are violent incidents, call 911. Nonviolent incidents, please call 311. And we will send people out. We've got the Department of Homelessness who has been out regularly. Our crisis intervention teams are out regularly, but there is no question we're aware that there's some very crazy people out there.
But what is that? Is this, I mean, it's a bunch of people that the neighbors hadn't quite seen before. Is it drugs plus mental illness?
I think it's a combination of drugs, of people who are at their wits' end, and like I said, folks being displaced from large tent encampments that the city is busting up.
And just so it's clear, what is the city doing about it? Are they doing enough? What are the police doing about it?
So like I said, one of the solutions that has worked in other areas, South Van Ness, the Dog Patch, has been these navigation centers, which is why my office has really been moving heaven and earth. We've got funding for it in the budget. We need a location. We've now found a location. I think that is going to be a big step forward.
But does that stop violence, and will there be a mental illness mental health component?
There will be a mental health component. There will be on-site case managers who are there to offer mental health services. So again, I'm hopeful that, this problem's never going to be totally resolved, but I think it's going to be a huge step that is going to bring relief to our residents and businesses in the northeast corner of San Francisco.
As you know, it's caught the attention of a lot of people, a lot of the parents, and there's the people been sort of griping out loud about, hey, where's our supervisor? Is he engaged with this? The Millennium Tower seems to be a priority. The tech stuff, is this a priority, and to what level is this something you're focused on?
This is a very high priority, which is precisely why we put money in the budget, why we have been searching now for a year to find a location. And remember, this is the densest part of San Francisco. Finding a location has been very, very difficult. We've looked at piers where the cost of putting sprinkler systems in, which are required by building codes, has been prohibitive. And I'm very pleased that we've landed on a site. Public Works is actually now developing working drawings, and we're going to get that thing out of the ground as quickly as possible.
People like to point to the police. I don't think anybody who's analyzed the problem thinks the police are the sole solution, but are the police doing any more right now? Are they doing enough?
I can tell you, I talk to our Central Station captain virtually on a daily basis. He is acutely aware of this. Their staffing is the highest it has been in the almost 20 years that I've been in and out of public office, with 120 full-time equivalent officers at Central Station, but there is no question that this has reached crisis proportions. And by the way, this is not unique to District 3. I'm hearing it from my colleagues in District 8 and District 10 and District 6 throughout the city. This has reached epidemic proportions.
What could you say to the residents of your District 3 that could convince them that this is a high priority here at City Hall,
All I can say is this: I live in the same neighborhood that you do. I'm experiencing the exact same things that you're experiencing. I hear about it from my wife and from my neighbors and my friends, and I'm beside myself and doing everything that we can to address it.
You're up for re-election in 2020. When that happens, 2020. When that happens, the voters will look back and see what you did, what you said about this issue, and what do you hope to have accomplished? How can they hold your feet to the fire when this is?
Look, I am very dedicated to my job and my community, whether it's providing affordable housing that we're building, whether it's dealing with quality of life issues, and I'm not looking 2 years ahead, I'm looking at tomorrow.
Finally, you do plan to have a neighborhood meeting?
We are going to organize a neighborhood meeting both about safety issues and as well as homelessness, and to talk about the Navigation Center proposal.
In the near future?
In the next few weeks, we're looking for a date and a place right now.